Hi everybody, this is Roy. Made a little video here for you about the Fukushima and the radiation. There's pretty good stuff on here. We're going to start out with this video. I'm going to play it at the same time I'm talking to you. This is the bombs that's been detonated from its beginning from 1945, and it's going to run through 1948. Okay, the important part of this though, and you gotta excuse the beeps because I'm trying to run on two different screens here for you. But as far as the radiation goes, we're putting Fukushima in perspective. There was no background radioactive Celsius before above ground nuclear testing or nuclear accidents started. Winnipega provides some details on the distribution of Cesium-127 due to human activities only. It's never been around, okay? It's never been around until humans put it out here. It's not a natural occurring thing, okay? So, Cesium-137 is unique that it is totally anthropogenic. Unlike most other radioactive Cesium-137, it's not produced from its non-radioactive isotope, but from uranium. It did not occur in nature before weapon testing began. By observing the characteristics of gamma rays emitted to this isotope, it is possible to determine whether the contents of a given sealed container were made before or after the advent of atomic bomb explosion. Okay, so that's how they tell when it happened. Cesium-133 is only naturally occurring isotope and is a non-radioactive. All other isotopes, including Cesium-137, are produced by human activity. Alright? Like I said, I'm going to let this video play while I'm talking to you. And all above-ground nuclear tests, which caused numerous cancers to the downwind dwellers, were covered up by the Americans, French, and other governments for decades. But the amount of radiation dumped out by Fukushima dwarfs the amount released by the nuclear test, which means Fukushima has put out more fallout and radioactive than all the stuff you're going to see happening on this screen right here. Altogether, since time started, Fukushima has dumped more. Okay? It says here, as nuclear engineer and former nuclear executive Arnie Gunsten notes, the wave of radioactive cesium from Fukushima, which is going to hit the west coast of North America, will be 10 times greater than that from the nuclear test. That means it's going to be 10 times greater than what you're going to see on here of all these nuclear bombs that have gone off. 10 times greater just from Fukushima. Okay? And it says here, this graphic shows from Woods Hole in Massachusetts, one of the world's top ocean science institutes, shows how much more cesium was dumped into the sea off of Japan from Fukushima as compared to nuclear testing and Chernobyl. So you can add the nuclear test going on here you see now and Chernobyl. Fukushima has already let out more. Alright? Okay, so we're going to go down, let that play for you. Now you watch all them hitting. Alright? It says, Fukushima radiation has arrived on the west coast years earlier than predicted. The Canadian government has confirmed in October that Fukushima radiation will exceed levels higher than maximum fallout from the nuclear test. Again, that means that from all these tests that you're going to see on the screen, it's already happened. You're already getting more. 10 times more. Okay? The party line from the Japanese, Canadian, American governments are that these are safe levels of radiation, given that those countries have tried to ban investigative journalism, have tried to cover up The scope of Fukushima disaster. Many people want to investigate for themselves. For example, Gunnarsson notes that the U.S. government flew helicopters with special radiation testing equipment 90 days after the Fukushima meltdown happened. The government said that it was just doing a routine background radiation check, but this was really measuring the amount of hot particles in the Seattle area, starting at 27. Hot particles are inhaled and become very dangerous internal emitters. The government then covered up the results of the basis on the grounds of national security. At the Washington Department of Health noted at the time, a helicopter flying over some urban areas in King and Pierce counties will gather radioactive readings from July 11 through the 28th, 2011. Seattle is in King County. The U.S. Department of Energy Remote Sensing Laboratory aerial measurement system will collect baseline levels of radioactive materials. Some of the data may be withheld for national security purposes. Okay. Similarly, the Department of Homeland Security and National Nuclear Society administered sent low-flying helicopters over the San Francisco Bay Area in 2012 to test for radiation, but they have not released the results. Indeed, residents of Seattle breathed in 5 hot particles each day in April of 2011. Now we're talking going on over 2 years ago. A full 50% of that Tokyo residents were breathing at the time. After all the reactors at Fukushima literally exploded and ejected cladding from the reactors and fuel particles, Gunnarsson said that the Geiger counters don't measure hot particles unless the government or nuclear scientists measure and share their data. We are in the dark as to what's really going on. So our Geiger counter really won't pick up the stuff that's really bad for you that's out there. And of course, they're not the scientists. The government's surely not going to tell you. And this is from the Washington Post. The Washington blog strives to provide real-time, well-researched, and accountable information. We at Washington Blog have an insatiable curiosity for new discoveries, new information, and new insights. Despite our passion for what's new, there are themes that we keep reporting on year after year as they reflect a bigger picture which remains fairly constant, or root causes of our problems which still have been addressed, a potentially powerful solution which have still never been tried. Again, all this information can be found here. If you want to go look, it's called the Market Oracle. It's a big newspaper. It's not just one of these little things that's made up for people. Like I said, Fukushima radiation is 10 times more than all nuclear tests combined, plus Chernobyl. And this was dated for December 29th. So you can go back and you can check it out for yourself and see what's going on. And like I said, all these little beeps over here, that's the nuclear bombs that went off. This is the year, the month, the countries that's let them off. And they're saying Fukushima has already let off more radiation than what you're seeing here, plus Chernobyl. Alright. Okay, well, this is Roy. I'll just let this finish off here to the end. And then, hoping you guys can dig into it and find some more information. Alright? And the guy who made up this little thing here is Eric Cavalicinti. He made up this here to show when the nuclear bombs were let off and when and by what country. But it's been it's over 2 years ago. So, but this is the most up-to-date one you're going to find. Alright, well, this is Roy. I hope, like I said, you people can check it out. I know this is a little bit long. But if you see all them beeps and stuff, it'll make you wonder if it's that bad. How bad is Fukushima? Alright, well, thank you.